Hola, amigo. I didn't do a countdown, so Dylan has no idea I just started this recording, but now he does. We're here. This is our second take at this. Dylan said something a little out of pocket the first time, but it was only 5 seconds in, so we're fine. Okay, Dylan, don't fucking say it. I see your face. Alrighty. So this is a tier list for Clancy. We've been putting this off for a minute here, but we're ready. We're here. We're back. We're going. We're getting.
We've reacted to every song on Clancy
We've heard
and
them
the music
multiple
videos,
times
actually.
in hindsight. Yeah, on channel. You
So
just
all
promoted
of
the
it,
videos
it's
at the
all in a
beginning. Good job,
playlist on
man.
our channel. Um,
Now they're
so
leaving.
I don't know.
They've
The
left.
no, the only reason I'm saying this is pause it here, open a new tab, and go to the playlist if you want to see any particular reactions before you hear this. Because
No, it's
here's
not
the
a
thing:
phone.
our opinions on the songs have absolutely changed. But
Yeah.
if you want to hear like a more in depth, we did go in more in depth with the details and stuff on our reactions. This is
Yeah.
not for us
We're
to go
not
in
gonna
depth with the songs
waste
again. This is
crazy amount of
merely
time, yeah.
to discuss. This is merely to discuss how we've ranked the songs and we would put them in the tier list. So, yeah, if you want to hear more about the songs, go check out those reactions. But we may as well waste no more time. I don't
Hop
like.
right into this bitch.
So we've got our system of doing it to where we have both ranked the songs from 1 to 13 on Google Docs on our own tabs. We have not revealed to each other our rankings.
Or conversed about them since.
So what we're
honestly,
gonna
at
do
all.
is
So this
we
is gonna
take
be
turns
completely
by
new.
starting. So we'll start with like track 1, Overcompensate, right? So one of us will say where we put it, and then the other one will say where we put it, and then we agree on which tier we think it should go in. So,
How are we gonna figure out who does
I mean,
what?
Overcompensate.
Who's gonna go
I don't know
first?
who
I don't
who's
want to
gonna go first.
I don't want to go first.
I'm happy to go first if you don't want to.
I'll let you go first. All
All right.
Let's go. Big reveal.
Overcompensate. I've got
Overcompensate. Dylan's got it at.
5.
So we see it a little differently here. I actually, and that way, do you say why? You say why, and then I tell you where I put it, or do I tell you where I put it, and then you say why? You say why. That's what we change it to at the very end. You say why. Explain your reasonings.
Well, I think
things you like
terrific
about the
opener to the album. I think the first minute, the way it comes in really
Oh, it's
slowly,
so cold.
everything, terrific build up. One of the best drumming performances on the album for sure. Josh done incredible on it.
Fuck yeah.
The only reason it's not like top 2 or 3 on the album is because I feel like I don't know, like there's certain like little writing things that aren't like perfect. I think nothing. It doesn't. It's not a perfect song, but it's certainly very fucking close to it. And yeah, I love the way it comes in at the end as well. Yeah, I don't know. There's really not too much else to say about it. It's just an all round great song.
It was one of the
terrific
first
opener.
ones to kind of come back when I played it, and for a while there it was my most listened to. I have it at 8, which sounds insulting, but considering how good this album is, it's not. I think I agree too. It's an insanely good intro. It hits so hard. The drumming is fucking incredible. The beginning part where like it just builds up and it's so the drumming is insane. Everything about it is insane. Okay, I love it a lot. 8 is unfortunate. I feel bad about putting an 8. It could be 8, and it could kind of move around to 9. It could fall one backwards, but it could also jump one. It's kind of like those. There's 3 right here that are kind of like shakeable. Like they could really be.
There's a lot of interchangeables here.
for both of us. So don't take this too to heart.
Yeah.
The order of it isn't in like lowest to highest is still accurate, but it's more.
We should
so
probably
sectionally.
note we both like every song on this album. This
dude.
is really
So-
these are just ranking it amongst each other. So don't take like 5 or 8
the
as
question-
like yeah.
Where does Overcompensate go? I think, based on my list, and I don't know where'd you put it in your list.
I put it in A.
I put it in A too. Okay, good. All right, I put it in A as well, which should tell you something if my 8 is an A. It's one of the ones.
Yeah.
In A.
Oh
But,
no, I think my 8 and 9 are both A's as well. I think.
But irrelevant to that point. So I believe.
Oh,
it is
one
now-
more note about
Yeah. Okay.
there was one more note about the song, which is that it has like it was probably my weakest of like the singles we heard beforehand. It did grow on massively
Oh,
when the album
same,
came out.
same,
it
same, same.
definitely works better in context of the album.
And also, just once you get used to their sound a little bit more than the album sound, it really builds. All right. Well, I'll go next, I guess. I guess it's my turn. Song 2, I believe, is Next Semester, right? Is what it says. It is. Okay. Next Semester, I have at This is probably our first disagreement. I have it at 5.
It's my 1.
Yeah, I thought that was. I assumed that I remember you telling me that. It's incredible. So I don't. It's really really good. Like I really think that like I love the other song. For me, like I said, I'll go ahead and tell you like my top 5 is like you could flip them any way you want. Just gonna tell you that you really could. It really just depends on the day. It could go anywhere, but it's my 5th as of right now.
Yeah. I mean,
but it grew
pretty
on
much.
Me. I heard it again yesterday, and I was like, "Oh shit! I really did overlook this song," and it jumped heavily. It was lower on the album originally, and it jumped way up. I was like, "Holy fuck, this is good!" So yeah, it's definitely up there.
Yeah. So like, I mean, this isn't really a song that's shrunk or grown on me. Like, I called it one of the best songs of the year on first listen, and it really stood there. It really stood there. It hasn't really changed in my opinion. I still think it's one of probably my top 10 songs of the year. It was definitely the song I've listened to most on the album. When I came back to the album later on, it was still one of the most listened to, even though I'd already had a phase with it. Yeah, I mean, it's just always been my favorite on the album. I think everything in it is just perfect. I think the emotion of it as well is, I think, the biggest underrated thing about it. I think it's definitely one of the emotionally heavy ones on the album.
If I went over like the coolest like put together, that would probably be number 1 or 2 at least. I think I went maybe in that top 5. Like I said, they're all so good in their own way. I think I decided to do more so the top side, more off of preference than actual like judgment. Like, because there's a few that are, some of them are off judgment, some of them are preference, but it's mostly preference because the album's so good. But like, I'm trying to explain. Sectionally, it's objectiveness of how good it is, but like inside of the section, it's preference, if that makes sense. It's like the order of them is off of how good I think the song is, but I'm having a trouble. Where would you put Next Semester?
Obvious yes for me.
Also, I love the way it goes down and like simmers at the end, but I actually agree. So, yeah. Next is track 3 is it's
Backslide.
Yeah. So where do you put Backslide, pal? Drum roll.
I got it at 6.
Okay, so we slightly disagree. But go ahead.
So, for me, this was like dead even with Overcompensate for me when I was going back through. It was like dead even. I was contemplating between, because Backslide was definitely one of the growers as well. Probably didn't grow as much as like I did think it was better than Overcompensate first listen, but then Overcompensate grew heavily. This still grew, but like they kind of ended up matching out where they grew to. And like when I didn't have a phase with it as a single, but once the album came out and we listened to the album in full, it grew on me then, and I had a bigger phase with it. But yeah, I mean, this is another one similar to Next Semester that in terms of like the emotion of it, it's definitely like top 3 or 4 in terms of how well it portrays the emotion in it. The melodies are brilliant, the progression is brilliant of it. I love the writing. And yeah, there's really like no complaint. The only, similar to Overcompensate, there's one tiny little thing, which is why it's like a just about perfect for me, which is like there are some little vocal tones to me that aren't like preferable, but it's really a nitpick. It doesn't stop me listening to the song. So,
I'm 90% sure, but the end of Backslide is the really cool, like almost like, I don't know, like it's like doom 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 doom, like all that crazy shit at the end. Yeah. No, but Backslide I have a little higher. I have it at 3 because Backslide is actually one of my personal favorites. I love the way I can't vocally place what I'm trying to say. There's a section at the end of the song where it's like the cool. I don't know if I don't really know that if it's a synth. The little solo area, you know what I'm talking about. I love that. The drumming there is great, and I love the pre-chorus and how it builds, and the way the chorus comes in is just awesome. I think it really, like you were saying, it really does. The delivery of what he's trying to deliver is done extremely well. Like it builds up just like the lyrics are building up and the emotions building up, and it works really well. And it's one of my personal favorites. But yeah, I have it at 3, which is actually I had Next Semester at 5. So all right, next is Me. Or where were we? Yeah, we already placed it.
No,
No, we
in the
didn't place
tier,
it. We placed it. Yeah, I thought so.
Well, I mean, as I said, it's right with Overcompensate, so I would have put it in A.
You would have put it A, but I would have put it. I would have put it in the top. I would have put it in the top half of S. Ish.
Oh, so you got a lot in S.
I had 5. The top 5 I put in S. I told you the top 5.
I only had 3 in S.
So the top 5 for me were interchangeable, but this was 3. So it's like it's not 1 or 2, but it is. I think maybe we keep it. We'll run for now. We'll put it at the top of A.
It's either
for
top
now.
of A or bottom of S.
For now, we'll keep it at A until we can change it later. All right. Here's the interesting one. So wait, hold on. Whose turn is it? Because it was your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn. No, it's your.
What's track 4? Midwest Indigo. It's your turn first for that one.
Okay. Well, they fucked up the list on here, didn't they? All right. Okay.
They only fucked up one. From what I remember doing it, it's just Midwest Indigo that's out of place. The rest is all
so Midwest Indigo. I had Midwest Indigo at. This is actually one of my interchangeables, and I need more time with one of these songs that it could overtake it. But from 9 to 7, it's a little give or take. Midwest Indigo, I had at 7. I had it at the top of the 3 for now. I really like it. I think that it was the biggest, one of the bigger. It was probably one of the biggest growers. When I first heard it, we listened to it and I was like, yeah, it's solid, but like there was nothing that I would never go back to it. I think in the video I may have actually said that. Like it was good. I just nothing about it struck me. That changed a lot. It's a really, really good song. I don't think it really has the craziest chorus or like the biggest most. It's just a really good song, and like the beginning of the chorus is catchy, but it's not like in your face. It's I don't know. It's just a solid song. It's really well done for what it is. Your turn.
Sorry, I'm just really quickly bringing out my Where did I put the I'm just bringing out the image on my own page just so I know where I put them in the tier list.
Yeah, I have
Midwest Indigo. I got at 9. So
same, and I have mine in the
similar
interchangeable
placement.
between 7 and 9. So yeah, 7, 8, 9. It's in that area. So same.
So about there.
Same.
Yeah,
different, but same.
all round. Yeah, not one that like I jumped back to personally, but it's certainly one that like I'd never skip it on the album. Still really like the song. Especially my favorite part about the song is like some unique writing choices. I think like there's some really unique writing choices on the song. It's one of the stronger in terms of that. And it's still got a nice rhythm to it. It's just like progression-wise and instrumental-wise, it's definitely one of the more basic ones on the album.
The drumming's great. Sorry, I forgot to say that. As always.
But definitely like his vocal tones and the writing is definitely one of the more unique ones on the album. And it does flow well. It's not like I don't think it's as strong as like the first 3, for example, but
it's really
it still
good,
holds
though.
up.
Like I said, we can't state it enough. We both, I'd say, really like every song. There's only one song that I don't really like. Like I don't think I'd go out to it, but even it grows on me over time. So, where would you place this one, Midwest Indigo? I believe I placed it in the very bottom of B.
I would have put it in B.
Okay, so
we'll
put
just
it
shove
in
it in B.
B is good for now. Okay, next is you. I believe, is it Routines in the Night?
Yeah, Routines in the Night.
All right, Routines in the Night. Where do you place Routines in the Night, Dylan? Drummer,
Alright.
please.
This is, I want to make this statement. This is the only song on the album that shrunk on me from first listen. The only one. I've got it at 11. I don't know, because I know it was one of your favorites on first listen. I don't know if that was one of the changes for you as well, but yeah. For me, the thing is with it, right, is on first listen, right, really catchy melody. It's well written for that. But past that, once I got over my phase with it, and I listened back through the album after having my phases with all the songs and stuff, it's definitely one of the less interesting ones on here. Like, there's not really like, yes, it's catchy, but it's like it's very basic in everything else, and it doesn't really expand too far past that. Still a great song, but it's just, you know, nothing blows my mind in retrospect. Like it is just really catchy. That's it. So yeah, as I said, still good. I don't want to like knock it or make it out to be a bad song, but definitely from first listen it did shrink. sure.
Okay,
It was
so
what
this-
it was probably would have been top.
So this is
3 on first
interesting.
listen.
This is interesting to me. For me, immediately I had it. I was like, okay, Routines of the Night is my favorite song, and it was the one that really, and it was the one that got me into the album. It was the one that was so like, it was the one that got me starting to listen to other songs again, and like I really started. It's really what kickstarted it, and it would have been my favorite song immediately. But I had it roughly at like 3ish, and then like I was like, oh no, it's not better than this one. And as I went through the album, it slowly dropped. And I was like, no, I don't want it to drop though, because I really like that song. And then I was like, okay, but let's just be genuine, right? It's a great song, the melody's good. But it's like, as I kept pitting it against these other songs, it just kept dropping and dropping and dropping. So it went from being one of my favorite to where I ultimately put it at number 10. So we actually had the same thing going on with the song, to where it fell.
Yeah.
For both of us. I don't think it's because the song's bad.
So,
I just think
is it the same thing?
it is a very well done. It is the pop format. It is so well orchestrated to pop. It's almost so perfect in like its poppiness that it doesn't have any like rigid edges like that. I don't know. That doesn't really last. It doesn't really like. It's not as experimental, so it doesn't strike you the same way. So once you get over
So
that,
it's the
like
same thing. It's kind of the same thing because that's kind of what I was going
burns out.
for. Like, it doesn't do anything past just being like catchy and well formulated.
Yeah, once that's over, then it's like okay, but it doesn't stand the test of time. It's always if it comes on the radio, you're gonna sing it, right? But it doesn't stand the test of time in the context of like it doesn't do anything out of the ordinary. So it won't be anything other than just like another pop song you like.
But even on catchiness, right? As other songs on the album grew on me, they overtook it.
Yeah, so here's
like Routines of the Night was catchy on first listen, but it didn't have anywhere to move from there. It's like the strongest part of the song stood out instantly, and every other song on the album grew above it.
Yeah,
if that makes
so
sense.
here's the
it didn't necessarily shrink. It's just everything else grew above it.
Yeah, so the other songs, for example, like, or I want to note some. Also, one of my favorite parts of the album is the background, is the backing vocals in the chorus of that song. Like it was all that shit. It sounds cold in that song. I like it a lot. Like I said, it's unfortunate it fell because I remember literally putting it back in the list. I was telling you because we were making the list and I was making mine list and you were just doing something else and I was like, oh, this is a weird one. It keeps falling. I said something like that and I was like, Jesus. I didn't tell him which song it was, of course, but yeah. It's weird though. It's cool. We had the same effect with us though, and it's not. I thought that was gonna be the only one I think we might have a disagreement with is it's gonna come up soon enough, I believe. I don't know when, but
we've actually been on very similar pages with these so far. Yeah. This is not bad.
We've only disagreed on one, and it was that you had it in the top of A, and I had it in the bottom S.
But it was only a small disagreement. It wasn't much.
We've yet to. I don't think we're gonna argue about anything in this meet.
No, I mean it's pretty difficult to when we like everything.
Me. Oh, where are we putting Routines in the Night? I had it. I believe.
I reckon B.
Where did I have it? Someone just knocked on my door. I don't know. I had Routines in the Night at. Oh, I had it in the top of B. Or no, yeah. Wait. I had it in B. Yeah, I had it at the top of B. And you said you put it in B?
Yeah, for me it was near the bottom of B. Yeah.
So I would put it here. Because I would put it. I think because I still think. Oh, so we agree again. Because I put it below Midwest Indigo. Okay. Well, okay.
Yeah, and I did as well. So
this is going surprisingly well. All right. What's the next song? Is it in order? Is it Vignette?
Next is Vignette.
Okay. Is it me? Oh, yikes. Okay. This is a strong one. Okay. Vignette is one of the two I think we'll probably disagree on. Vignette is actually at number 2 for me. Which I think we're going to disagree on this one, but I love everything about this song. Going over all the songs back to back, I have so many melodies in my head that I can't really think about each individual song, but I love the way the fucking teen teen teen. I love the way it's done. It's experimental. Somebody's gonna hear it and they might not like the tone or this or that. I love the way it's put together. I love the fucking like the synth solo too in the middle of that song. Right? You know what I mean? It's fucking cold and it comes back down to the chorus. I love the way it's done. So for me it was my second favorite. It really is my favorite like when it comes to like unique like what strikes me the most. It's my favorite. The one I have above it is just because I think it's a better song. And it's actually my most listened song on the album. We'll get there soon. It's not a long album.
I got Vignette at 10. So,
minor disagreement. I knew that was going to be our disagreement.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I still like it. It's just, And to be fair, it probably has no, it probably was like middle of the range on the album on first listen even. And it, like again, I don't think it shrunk. I think it's just other songs below it grew over it. But yeah, I mean, you probably know exactly where my issue with the song
It's
comes.
the high note.
Which is definitely like the yeah. And it's like I get it stylistically for the song. But even when he does high stuff on other songs, it feels more in place. For Vignette, it feels like it's slightly too far. But then again, that's really like I still love the writing on the song. I think actually it's one of the better written songs on the album. I think instrumentally there's a lot of cool stuff about it.
Fucking sense.
You cut me off as I was about to talk about that. I said instrumentally, it's a really interesting song. Like it's got a lot of interesting things in there. Like I like the drumming, the way it comes in with the dun 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 dun. And I love the synth solo there in the middle as well. Yeah, it's really the only thing that drags it like a few spots down is mainly just the vocal, but I still really like the song. It's the story of this is basically that we just like them to different degrees. That's really
all right. So where would you put it?
I would have put it in B.
Okay, well I think the mutual agreement is we put it in the middle of A. I think.
Yeah.
Would it be at the bottom or top of B for you?
It will be in between those two and B. Actually, on my list, yeah, Midwest Indigo's at 9, Vignette at 10, Wood Chains at 9 at 11. So it's in between them for me.
Well, then I think we...
So the middle ground would be like,
here.
I don't know, middle of A?
Yeah,
that's probably...
Bart, you quit it. You quit it. Bart, you fucking quit it. You quit it. You quit it. He's staring at me. He knows he's gonna do it anyway. Motherfucker. Bart, don't make me do it. Bart, you fucker. He's protesting me right now. He's... Bart, you motherfucker, quit.
Is he peacefully protesting?
No, he's not. He's yeah. CNN peacefully protesting. All right, where are we putting... Okay, we got it. Okay, you're next, right? You're next, and the next song is...
The Craving.
The Craving. Okay. Where did you put it?
Right. I got it at 3.
Okay.
It is absolutely one of my favorites on here. Yeah, there's no complaints about it. It's a perfect song in my eyes. I think like he sings with a lot of passion. This is the most emotional one on the album, I think. The message of it as well, to where like he's got all this like weight on him and he doesn't want to. He just desperately does not want to burden his girlfriend and everything. It's like it is really touching, and how like like. Because some people will say that, like, bottling it up and not sharing stuff with, like, your significant other is, like, not a good thing. But I think, like, the way he comes off in it, it's, like, you can tell his intentions and everything. What the fuck are you...
I'll tell you later. Oh, shit. Oh, that's hilarious. Sorry. I hate to take away from your thing. You said something. You said something outrageous.
No, it's just perfect. There's no question. It's probably... It was probably my second most listened to behind Next Semester. But yeah, just... Incredible song. Yeah,
so for me, it's my number 1. I think that there's songs that do cooler, more abstract stuff, but I almost think it deserves number 1 because it has none of that, and yet it still holds the same weight. And that's incredibly impressive to do with basically just a ukulele in his voice. And some slight backing from different stuff. So, like, it's really well written. He really does a good job at, like, carrying out the desperateness. And as somebody, I think, like, when you go through, like, rough times, or if you think maybe your brain functions differently to other people, you're going through stuff, then you imagine that your significant other, like... It's hard. I feel like it'd be hard to... It's just... I don't know. It's a very powerful song, I guess what I would say. It's very... I want to say true, almost. Like, it's very helpful. It's kind of speaking through something that, for a lot of people, is ineffable. It's like, I hope I can communicate the craving. Something that isn't... I don't know. It's a really good song. I'm not able to explain it too much, other than the fact that the first thing I said is it's really powerful. It's really beautifully written. and there's not another song immediately that I can think of that has the same exact approach. So it deserves its position. Yeah, that's what I'd say. Oh, Jenna's version. I know it's the one on the album, so you guys already know, but
Obviously, still.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can pretty much where to go.
Oh, here to go.
I guess we put it there, wouldn't we?
We'll put it there. I mean, yeah. I mean, like, I had next semester at 1, but then
and
again,
I had this one.
You had it lower. I had
this one 4 spots above next semester, and you had it 2 spots below. So it's actually perfectly interchangeable, really.
No, it probably goes slightly above it. Oh, then again, you're higher on the album, so I don't know. It's there though. Just put it at the top, I guess, because
we're really kind of just doing it. We're mostly just doing it sectionally. So like you can just kind of see highest to lowest is kind of going to be somewhat accurate. Like it's all right. I believe the next one is me. The next song is Lavish, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's one thing I want to point out first before I say where I put it. It does a good job at breaking up the album. I'm sure we can agree on that. The way it cuts from that really deep, and then it cuts right back to the way it comes in. It's a good way to section out the album. And on that note, it's my 13.
Yeah, it's my 13.
I
knew where you were going with it.
It's cool.
And I was like,
I watched the live stream, and it's funny why they said they made the song. In the live stream because I don't know if you've seen this on YouTube, Dylan. You should really go check it out since you like the album. But there's a live stream that they did on the night of the album release where it was just them two, and they talked about each song, and then they played the song for the first time in the video, and then they talked about and then they talked about the next song, and they were making jokes throughout and doing stuff. It was a really cool live stream. But when talking about this song, they said Tyler, I believe, said that they were sitting down and he said, we need to make a song that we can wear suits for in a limousine. And then they made the song. So they were like, that's a good idea. And so they just did it. It's a cool song, to be fair. It's just not my style. Like, it's not a bad song at all. It's a cool little song.
It is the only song, I think, and I think this is fair to say, I think it is the only song on the album that holds 0 weight.
Yeah, which is actually, I think, in a way good.
To be fair, that is the point of it, right?
It's supposed to catch you off guard, yeah. Like, whoa, what's this? And
at the same time, I think 21 Pilots strong, so, I mean, you look, I've got Craving and Next Semester both in the top 3, and they probably are the 2 most emotional on the album, so probably, I think that one of the things they're best at is portraying emotion and portraying something that's like a genuine feeling. So when they have just one random song on the album that isn't, like, has 0 emotional weight at all, it's not bad at all, but it's just like, there's no feel to it. It's just kind of...
Bart is so down bad. He stopped fighting to get behind the curtain, but now he's just sitting next to the window just listening through it. It's so down. It's so unfortunate. He looks so sad.
Like, on first listen, and even now, it is the only song that I knew on first listen. Yeah, I'm not going to, like, go seek out this one individually, but I'm not going to skip it on the album.
Yeah, so, and on that note, it's in,
it's
right
C.
here.
Yeah.
The was unnecessary. It's not a bad song. I'm just being rude. All right. The next song, it's your turn. It is Navigating.
Navigating. I've got it at 8. Probably, like, this was one of the ones I think, like, we did disagree on a bit, but I don't know, the disagreement was when it was Zach's favorite on the album, because I think he's had, like, multiple favorites through time, but when this was at number 1 for him at one point, I think he got annoyed at me when I said, yeah, for me it's one of the weaker on the album, forgetting the fact that I still liked every song on the album. I remember you getting a little annoyed at me, like, but you've heard the drumming, dude! I'm like, yeah. And, no, I really like the writing as well, I really like the vocals on it, I really like
it's so good
stuff on it.
It's so good.
It's just...
I don't think I,
It's just, for me, like, the melody for me is, like...
I love the drumming and the way it builds.
I like it almost every other...
This is the story of the fucking thing. I like the story and I like the way it builds and I think the drumming was solid. It's just the story of every song but Lavish. Well, there's actually 3 songs that don't have really a bunch of drumming, but what episode is this?
Yeah, it's kind of middle of the range on the album. Like, it did grow on me a bit, but like on first listen, it would have been like in that 11 to 13. But at the same time, like it's you know, it's still pretty good. I don't think like I have gone back to it once or twice. Didn't have like a major phase with it, but certainly did enjoy
I
it.
could say it. Like you said, it has fallen a little, not that much because it's my number 4. It's also in my top 5, that I said was interchangeable. If it's not in your top, that's cool. I mean, it doesn't make a difference to me. It's kind of, this is where it kind of comes to preference, and I love I love the way it just the fucking like. And also the song, like I loved, it was multiple things. It's like the calm down part, where it gets really quiet, and then it and there's the guitar right there, and then it builds back up. The drumming is fucking insane. And also the biggest standout. Not only do I love the song, I don't think that like the I'm navigating is the most beautiful lyric decision ever, but I love the song message. I think the song message is a very relatable song. That's a lot of it. It's like it's one of my favorite sounding, but on top of that, it's like one of my favorite messages and like writing stances, because it's like, I mean, I don't have to explain to you. Heard the song, you know what the song's about. But yeah.
And actually, there's one thing to expand on, because when I was listening through it last night, because I listened to the album in full again, and I want to say there was one thing about navigating as well that was part of the reason it jumped up a spot or two, by the way, on the ranking, was there was one lyric in there that I think actually speaks to the message of Clancy, because it is one of the 3 lore-driven songs on the album. Mm-hmm. The other 2 being obviously Overcompensate and Paladin Strait, but this one was meant to be like the sort of close to middle album lore one. The video was also part of the lore as well, but one line in there that really caught my attention was disassociate, which at the end of the day, I think, while you could just be like, oh, so he's just not being social, I think, well, no. What if he's talking about like the actual disorder of disassociating or whatever,
yeah,
and like pretending to be someone else? Because isn't that what Clancy is? Isn't Clancy like an image he puts over himself to cover up his deeper
it is
mental struggles and stuff,
or a form of it, yeah. But also, yeah, it's like that's what the whole song's about. It's also very lore-driven when you think about it. He's talking about navigating his brain. And the whole lore of what's going on is, like, in the video, they're navigating through a land that is in his mind, with a bunch of characters that are in his mind. So it's like, yeah, but it's like I hear that whole song. It's like in the sense of like somebody who has like ADHD or something, like just a really like, crazy ass mind is kind of what that song gets me. But where did you place it on the tier list?
It was like top of B.
I had it at like at the 4th slot in S out of my 5. So I think it would probably go
A will place
probably
maybe like just below Vignette, because you had it at 2. So
yeah, but you had Vignette further down, didn't you?
At 10, so it's like close. But just so it's the same different. It's the same when you weigh it up, but because you had one higher, we'll just
All right, that's fine. All right, anyway, but next is Snapback, and that is yours to do, I believe. No, is it mine? Whose is it?
Yes, yours.
It's yours. It's mine. Okay. Snapback is a weird one. Snapback didn't immediately grow on me. I didn't like it at first. I was like, yeah, whatever. It actually did grow on me a lot. Unfortunately, still not enough because it's still 12. But it grew on me a lot. But I still have it at 12. But here's the deal. A lot of these in this lower category of the album for me, I haven't even listened to more than once. Or more than a few times. Like I've heard Snapback now, I think twice. And the second time I heard it was much better.
We have the same bottom 2 then, because I've got Snapback at 12 as well.
Oh, but yeah. But it's a good song. I think a lot of these need more time to grow. Snapback could definitely be one of those. It's a great song once again. I think it is leagues above, like when it comes to like Lavish and Snapback being at the 13 and 12 are not really comparable because Snapback is a really good song. It's not anything to blow you out of the water, and it's probably the most simplistic, I don't know, in non like standout
I knew Lavish was 13 before the re-listen. Like I did too. It was different. Like everything else was definitely far above it.
So, but yeah, Snapback is my 12. But Snapback's your 12 too. So it's a good song. It's a good song.
Yeah, it's still a good song. It's just like, there's nothing really that drives it over anything else. Like, every aspect of it, I think every other song above it does better, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think, like, when you think about the writing, it's like, the writing's good.
Is that the song where he said he's running from a habit that he kicked in, what is it, 17? Yeah. No, it's a deep song. It really is. I think it needs to grow on me a little bit, and over time it could become a much better song. Do I think it could take over the songs above it? Honestly, no. But I think that's because they made such a good album. I don't. But
I think it's because like instrumentally and melodically, the song is like very baseline. It's really just like the meaning of it that drives it.
Baseline, actually.
Oh shit. Yeah, but like it is probably one of the less interesting ones instrumentally there and melodically. So it's really. Yes, it's a good song, but it's more so a matter of just everything else being better. If that makes sense, it's just
Although
the rough position of being on a great album.
Unfortunate. Okay, where would you place it on here? I think I would put it.
I would have put it like dead bottom of B for me.
I would have put it at the top of C. So whichever one you're at.
I thought the gap was big enough between Lavish that I just had Lavish.
Wait, maybe not. Hold on. No, you're right. No, you're actually right. I actually put it right here. Bottom of B.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, so we agreed. All right. Next is Oldies Station. This is you.
All right. Yeah. This one is the one that absolutely caught me off guard. One of the biggest silent growers on the album for me. I got it at 4. It crept up on me like crazy. Like I was not expecting.
Can you remind me the chorus?
Heard it, I was like.
You can't remember it either. It's rough to remember. It's a rough song. A lot of these are hard to remember because there's so many melodies going to my brain right now. Like some of them I can find. But yeah, go ahead.
And that's the thing about it. That's the thing about it which caught me off guard because it doesn't have. I mean, you can tell right now.
Yeah.
It does not have like a very sticky melody compared to most other songs on here. It's just so damn well written. The progression of the instrumental is so damn good, and the feel of the song is terrific. That's the only reason it jumps so high is mainly just because like everything else is so good. Like the weak point is probably its catchiness, as crazy as that sounds. But which is why it wasn't one that I returned to particularly much. But when listening through the album, it's absolutely one of my favorites. And last night listening back through, I'm like, damn, yeah, like this does, like, it does everything else so damn well that. When I think of like my emotive response to the song, I don't go back to because the thing is with it, right? Songs you go back to are not necessarily based on how much you like the song either. Like a lot of the time, the amount you go back to a song is typically just based on how catchy you find the song.
Can we go back a little? Let's time out for a moment, okay? Before we jump, let's go back real quick to the last song. We didn't have to shave our heads. You guys failed. We forgot to address that. We should have been shaving our heads in this video, but you guys didn't get snapped back to 100 likes in time. We gave you plenty of time, more time than we should have. But
we were going to do a tier list the following week, and we gave you guys an extra month.
Yeah, so you guys failed horribly. Maybe you get this to 500 likes, and I don't really want to do this again. Yeah, I don't want to do this again. It was so scary the first time.
No, because they'll regret their mistake. They will get all their friends on board.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, right, I actually looked. The snapback like ratio to view ratio was astronomically high compared to the rest of the videos on that album.
I have a question. Do you think a video of 500 likes is worth you shaving your head, though? It's debatable.
I don't know. But either way, though, I looked at the ratio. You understand that it actually has... It was about... I think it was like the second or third least viewed on the album, but it was the second most liked. It was fucking... The ratio was about 20%. It had about 150 views, and it had like nearly 40 likes.
The point being...
And I looked at that and I went, that's fucking scary.
Problem is the fan base wasn't the problem.
Is pull like 400 views and it's got that. Like, it's not
The
much.
problem is the fan base was not the problem. Had we done it on another song that maybe we did a little bit more popular, then we would have been fucked. Anyway, we didn't know, so joke's on you.
Our routines in the night, it would have been fucking over. That video did nearly a K.
Yikes. Speaking of, we'll go back. I have Oldies Station we disagree on, but not heavily. We disagree on its placement. Oldies Station was a go on me too, because initially I had Oldies Station behind. It was well, it's not like it's a big difference, but it was 12, and it worked its way up to 11, which isn't. Hold on, before you shit on me, it's not an insult to the song, okay? The song actually, when listening to it last night, I was hearing it and I was like, oh, I like this. I really like this. And I'm like, this one could definitely be one of those that like in like a month I go, no, it's top 5. For sure, it's possible. But right now, I put the 10 songs I have above it. It's a really good song. Do you want a list of the songs that I have above it that we've already ranked? I have, let me make sure I check this. I don't want to fuck up. Okay, cool. I have, okay, I cannot make this mistake. Okay, I have Overcompensate's above it. Midwest Indigo's above it. Next Semester's above it. Navigating's
Everything
above
is
it.
above it
Backslide's
except
above it.
Snapback and Lavish.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's an easier way to say that. So, but there's a huge jump between Snapback and Oldies Station.
Someone goes, "You are my third least favorite human being on the planet." Like this person was above you. This person, and just lists like 7 billion.
Just
people.
name the 2 people that are.
It's like just like everybody but.
All right.
Everybody but Tom Hanks.
I would have placed it. I would have placed Oldies Station, in the center of B. Evidently, you would have put it in S
Top of
or
A.
or A. I think if
Like
I would
top
put it here,
of A.
we'll put it maybe like here. Well, I'll put it in the middle of B, so it would probably be more of like maybe here or here.
Yeah.
We'll put it in the center. It's a little too close to top A actually. Hold on.
Probably below navigating, probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. All right. The next one is At the Risk of Feeling Dumb, and I think this is me, right? This is for me, it's the biggest grower right now. If you could check this video, I probably started singing the chorus like 4 times. It's caught in my head.
Before the video, he was non-stop singing this shit.
At the risk of feeling, it's so caught in my head, but it is only at 6. I have it second, and I have it the only one that it would have been the top of A, because it would have been the only one that didn't go into S. Although that could definitely change. I could sincerely seeing that this song could definitely overtake these. It could easily be my favorite on the album in a little while, in a few days. So I don't know, but it's really good. The message is great. The chorus is great. The fact that it doesn't give you that massive climax in the chorus until like later on, like the second or third, like it waits off a little bit. It's really well done. The vocal performance was really good. The writing is great. The message is great. I already said that. The drumming is great as always, and the video is funny too. Just Josh drumming in the most absolute random of places for no reason, even though it's actually for a good reason. It's actually there's symbolism in it. But now I believe this is a disagreement. Where'd you place it? Oh, not that big of a deal. Damn.
No.
Not saying not that big. It's literally one difference.
Yeah. So. I mean, similar case. It definitely grew on me from first listen. Like first listen, it was probably like in the bottom 3 or 4, but it definitely worked its way up. One of the catchier songs on the album, probably, and
it's the most rock.
Yeah, I mean,
song.
I think it's a well-written song.
It's rock.
A lot of rock instrumentation. I love the way it builds up, especially in the second half. I love the way it builds up, but yeah, it's written really well. Nice message to it as well. And I think it's a great way as well to bring it back up, like, because I feel like it would have been an issue if you had a bunch of slower, low-tone songs going into Paladin Strait. I like how they brought it up right before the finale, so that Paladin Strait could bring it back down and build up again. I really did like that. So it works perfectly in context of the album. Yeah, it's just
Absolutely
right.
It's really growing on me. Specifically the At the Risk of it hit so fucking hard, man. I had it at the top A.
Yeah, I had it at the bottom of A.
So we'll strike right in the middle between these two, probably.
Yeah.
It's probably give or take. I think because of navigating, the fact that I had it at like 3 or something, I think we do this. Or we have it here because I had it below navigating, so that works. Yeah, that works perfectly. Okay, all right. All right, last song, Paladin Strait. This one is you. Where do you have Paladin Strait?
I got it at 2.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah. All round terrific song. I mean, Zach probably knew before we even did anything to do.
I said it. I said
honestly,
it.
do you know the moment Zach knew it was going to be my top like 2 or 3 on the album was the moment he saw the track list and saw that it was the longest song on the album, and
Go
he just went.
go
And he even actually said, didn't
go
he say
to
in
the
the video?
reaction. I said Paladin
Yeah.
Strait. We were about to click play, and I said, "Wait, I think it was 6 minutes." Something. I was like, 6 minutes. Oh, this is Dylan's favorite already, guys, and we played it. I caught it, which is not your favorite
Yeah.
technically. So I was wrong, but I wasn't wrong.
No, next semester halted that, but
For now, there's still time.
but that's the thing that well,
There's still time. You got 40 years. You re-listen to the album, it'll change. That's the problem. It'd be your favorite if it was 40 years old and long. It's not. So it's gotta date itself a little bit, and then it'll be your favorite song.
maybe an extra few minutes, maybe, but the extended
short.
version, Paladin Strait extended version.
Paladin
Just have
Strait's
an
a little
extra couple
short.
minutes of silence in the break.
It's just we need at least 4 more minutes in that silent break on Spotify. There's not enough silence. Not enough silence. There's not enough. It needs more silence. That's a callback nobody in this video gets.
No, go check out Louis edition. Louis
It needs
Armstrong
more
edition.
trumpet. Oh God, Louis back. No, he's not, guys. I'm just kidding.
No, he's not.
Louis put to hell. He's gone.
Yeah, just terrific. I love the way it builds up. I love the writing. Even like, it's not even just the fact that it's long and the build up, because really the formula isn't necessarily that I like long songs.
And
It's
it doesn't
that
actually have like
I
a crazy
like
ass
long
build-up
build
either.
ups. It does. I mean, it starts really quiet, like
Yeah.
and it builds up. It does build up heavily, and then it comes back down, has the silence, and then has the slow fade out, which I really like. And believe it or not, that's the formula. It's not the formula isn't necessarily has to be like just 6 minutes. It's like I like songs that ramp up and then come back down in a nice climax. That's what I really like. But the writing as well, I think it's one of the best written on the album. I think melodically even if it was only like the first few minutes and then stopped, it's like I think it's one of my favorite melodies on the album for sure as well. I just think that they all round nailed this one, and I mean fans will be happy about it as well. I think like this is definitely like I'm not like a massive 21 Pilots fan overall. Like I haven't followed their lore or anything, but I can definitely see looking in the way the music video is executed as well that I think it was the satisfying ending fans were looking for. From what I've seen.
I just accidentally swinging this whole thing. Did the exact drum beat from "I Just Haven't Met You Yet." I think is it "Haven't Met You Yet" by Michael Bublé. I was swinging the shit, and it went. You hear it, right? Yeah, that's all I heard. I only know that song because of fucking work. It's the only reason I actually know that
play
song.
that one. That's nice.
Oh, all the time, twice a day.
W.
Yeah. That's
Anyway.
a song. Oh yeah. So okay. Well, this song is one of the ones that I don't know. I'm gonna get in trouble for this one. For some reason, I actually never went back to this one until yesterday. So like I had the whole phase and I never went back to this one, Snapback, or Oldies Station. So I think it was just those three, or At the Risk of Feeling Dumb. Those were the four.
So you basically just slipped on the latter few.
Last four. Yeah, it's like the last four for some reason. I don't know why. Because I think that maybe we were listening to it on the album, like all four, because we were recording for long. Maybe they just like, I was tired or something. They didn't catch me. I don't know. But irrelevant to the point. Paladin Strait is gonna rise. I'm just gonna say that. As of right now, I couldn't put it higher than I did because I liked all the other ones more, But objectively speaking, I think it'll probably. I got to give it more time. I think it could slip in, but as of now, I had it at 9. But it deserves to be higher than that. But as of right now, it's not. So I would be cool to put it basically wherever you want. I think it deserves it. I don't think I'd go as much to say that it deserves. For the fact that I have it at 9 means I had it at, where did I have it? That means I had it at the. What means I had it in the bottom half of A. You had it at the top half of S. I'd be willing.
Well, not the top half of S. Like I had 3 in S.
So
which is the two that we've actually got up there, and Paladin Strait.
So I would put it. I would be cool with putting it. If I had it here, then we can do here if you really want to do here. But I don't think that's fair because it's the only one we didn't. The only two we have up there is the ones we agreed on. So do we slide this one in because it's close enough? You had middle. No, it would go top A. That's the right placement for it. Is top A. I didn't know you had
I don't
S.
know if it deserves anywhere else, but S, dude, it's rough.
I would, yeah, but I mean, there's a few of them that I think deserve S, but I didn't get to give S. I'll let it slide this one. I'll let it go this once.
Like,
I'll let it go.
especially because like I can definitely tell because I think I remember like as you were talking about, I actually do remember that I think because we recorded it in one night, right? We recorded every reaction in one night, but I'm pretty sure we actually had like a 2 hour break, which before the last like 4 or 5 tracks. So I think I think we listened to most of it, and I think it was the last like 3 or 4. We actually had like a couple-hour break, and then we came back and we were actually really tired. I think in the last few, so that may
But
be it.
I heard it and it
But
sounded really, really good, and I know that's why I'm not questioning you whenever you like put it down. Like, yeah, I could see it definitely being there. Do I think it'll maybe be my favorite? No, but objectively, it is really well done, and it's a great conclusion. Right? And I'm sure, and me and you talked about this, that it reminds me of whenever in Deadpool 3, it's a little spoiler. It's from the ad commercial though, so it's not that big of a spoiler. But he says what is it again? Nerds or nerds, it's time to get your special sock out or something like that. And for me, I feel like that's what that video and song is for all the 21 Pilots fans. So I feel like the day that me and you go through their entire catalog and lore in order, and then we go back to that, I feel like it's going to hit even a trillion times harder. So I don't question it at all. I think it was really well done. I can already tell just by watching the video and listening to it that if I was a huge fan and I truthfully understood everything clearly and I've been waiting years and I loved them, that I would be like, you know? Like if I loved 21 Pilots as much as we loved The Weeknd.
oh, hardcore fans will almost all have this at number one if I had to guess.
Yeah, like just imagine, for me, like it feels like there's no example, but it's really good. We'll go ahead and call it for now. We'll talk about the album for here not long. We pretty much already talked about the album, but okay. I don't know where to start. We already pretty much I think this album is one of my favorite albums I've ever heard. Dylan has heard way more albums than me, but I've heard not many. I'd say 20-ish. Probably.
That's not many at all.
20-ish, maybe more.
That's nothing.
I think I've heard more than that. I've heard more than that. I've heard more than 20. Yeah, I've heard more than 20. In hindsight, yeah. I've probably heard maybe closer to 50. Not fully, probably more like 40. Over time. It's not a lot. I haven't gone on my way to listen to the albums. But I've heard I've heard albums and heard multiple songs off the albums, but I've only sat and really listened to an album all the way through probably like 30-ish times. But I've heard multiple songs off of albums and been able to say that, okay, it's definitely up there. There's only a few albums I've heard where it's like every single song I'm like, wow, holy fuck. And I love them all. And yeah, so I like this album a lot. I don't think they did anything wrong at all. I don't really see anything that I would change, except maybe make Lavish a little bit better. but even then, it did what they were trying to do. They were just having a fun song. So I don't know. That'd be about the only song I would change. Maybe that and Snapback. And other than that, it would be a fucking perfect album.
No, I mean I don't think it's a perfect album like at all. But I mean for me, based on what like other albums I've heard, it's probably around that 8 to 8.5 mark. Maybe a 9. I don't know. It's somewhere around there. Like it's certainly not a perfect album. There's definitely like for me, I feel like that first run, like it kind of feels like it slowly like dips a little bit in that first run, and then you just see a spike with Craving, and then it kind of goes wavering for the rest of the album a little bit. So it isn't like deadly consistent. There is definitely differences, and like I can't look at like for example, when I look at like my favorite albums ever, right? The difference between the best and worst song on the album is not like too crazy, you know. Whereas like here, for example, like you compare like those ones in you compare the S tier to the C tier here, and it's like there is a clear fucking difference. Like you can't, like nobody's putting Next Semester, The Craving, and Paladin Strait on the same level as Lavish. It's not happening.
Well, I've never heard an album that has the best song is almost the same exact greatness of the worst song.
Well, not the exact, but I mean,
it'd have to be.
There's definitely significantly closer. Like you look at like The Wall, for example, right? And the weakest track on The Wall is still a perfect track. Like there's no like to me that is a perfect album, right? and you look at like the best song and the worst song, it's like they're both perfect
My
songs.
example of the closest thing I've heard
You
to
know,
perfect.
or like a Love Over Gold by Dire Straits. You know, you look at like a Telegraph Road and It Never Rains.
I'm gonna go
It's
back
like,
to the wall.
difference is
If I remember, I
nothing.
liked it, and there's nothing I would change. But nothing I would change isn't necessarily saying like I love it. Like, but like I think that my personal example of one that I've heard multiple times that I genuinely, like I said, it's obvious, but that I would the closest thing I could see to what you're saying of like every song I'd love and have had a massive phase with every single song tenfold would be After Hours or even maybe Austin. I've had a huge phase with every song, and I love them all. Austin, there's a bit more space, but After Hours, I think we can both agree on that. From best to worst. But yeah, those would be my examples. I really want to go back and listen to some other albums. The problem I'm having is usually when I go back to older albums, like a lot of the older albums I've gone back to, they have like a good song, and then they'll have a song that I think's good, but I just don't care about it. Like it's well put together. I just would not go back to it. I just think I would rather listen to something else, and that's what I usually find. I find it in new albums too, but more so in older albums. Maybe I need to like figure out maybe be a little more smart with the artists I listen to and what their music sound is. Try to find some artists that consistently sound like what I like. Irrelevant. This album was really well put together.
I think like because I think
pretty
that's
much
the big distinction, right? Where is like I do not think that a no skip album means a perfect album. Like that there is like a lot of people might think that like, oh, if it's a no skip it's a perfect album. Like to me that's not really the case, because there can be a song that like you think that you have like an issue or two with, but you still go back and listen to, for example, like, and that is the case with a lot of songs on here for me. Like I like for me realistically I only think there's like 3 perfect songs on this album. I think even the next few down, you know, you've got a lot of close to perfect here, but like I don't think like it's not like there's nothing I would if I like looked at actual different things song by song, there are different things I would change. It's not like for me it's not perfect, but it is a no skip album. Like I listen through this album, I don't skip tracks. I listen through it back to front, and I did like 10 plus times I'd listen to it front to back. So, you know, but still that's no knock necessarily. It just means that, you know, I like a lot of other albums better, but it's just not like for me it's not like up there as one of my personal favorite albums I've heard. But then again,
yeah.
I've heard like a few hundred albums. Like
yeah, we're good. I'm gonna go through some more albums, obviously. But if you guys want us to, I mean, Dylan is more so against this, and I think I am. If you guys want us to go back and maybe start our 21 Pilots journey, whether it be in slow motion, like occasionally, however we decide to do it, whether we do it or don't, let us know down below so we know if there's actually people there who give a shit. If you guys want us to go back, make it very clear. You're going to have to make it extremely clear that you want us to go back, okay? Because so Dylan can see it. I think that we've pretty much tied this up here in a bow. I think another great tier list, another fun time making a tier list. We have a bunch of the tier lists. As he said earlier, we have all reactions to every single one of these songs on our channel in a playlist. I don't know if the ones in...
actually, I might shove that up in a card. There's one last thing we might want to do. So a little edit that we wanted to do.
Oh, I was going to say
well
that in a second.
is,
I was about to say.
So how are we going to do it? Should we just put it up on the screen?
So it's going to be over here. It's going to be over here where this tier list is, but it's just going to be our 2 tier list somewhere on there. It probably going to be covering... I don't know. You just put
It'll
the
be covering our faces, whatever.
That's fine. I don't care how
it might be covering us.
If it's covering us,
I don't know. Maybe you can see my hand or some shit. I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
However it works.
You're looking at them.
You will see.
You're looking at them right now. Yeah, right now. Right now. What do you think?
And we'll have labels. We'll be like Zach's tier list and my tier list and stuff. So we'll have those listed there.
Yeah.
So you can see the way we rank these songs personally.
Make your own tier list and send them. Save them, and maybe send us like.
We will leave the blank template in the description below as well.
Absolutely.
So yep.
You guys
send them through. And we've got lists of our socials as well. So if you just want to like message us on any of our socials and just send us a screenshot or something of the tier list.
Follow us while you're there. All right.
And look, we said this before in the previous tier list we've done, but if we can get like a good amount of tier lists, like if we can get like 5 to 10 tier lists or something, then we may actually do a video as well looking at your guys. So
yeah, if we can get enough positive reinforcement. On that note, if you like this video, leave a like on this video. All right. Leave a comment down below. Oh my god. Below, holy fuck, I'm tired. Below and let us know what you think about our tier lists. Subscribe because we're almost to 1,000. Go check out our remixes we did. They're linked down below. But first, probably go check out all these reactions. Denny and Toby, go check them out. Dylan, I think this is where you say goodbye. Fast.
Yeah, Toby's dying. Goodbye.
Bye, fellers.